You guys, I've never done MDMA. Is this how MDMA works?
MDMA is Molly, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's more like a purer version of Molly.
I thought MDMA was a purer version of ecstasy,
Yes.
and that's what Molly is.
Maybe.
Right?
I don't know. I've never done ecstasy. I don't know anything about any of that.
Yeah.
That was not my that was not my bag when I was doing drugs, because when I was doing drugs, I was a youth and I could not access things that weren't sketchy.
Also, was Molly a thing when we were in high school?
I don't think Molly was the thing when we were in high school. Ecstasy was.
Yeah.
But that was like not a part of my vibe or scene.
It's just interesting, the portrayal of, like, on this show, season 1 ends with Ashley doing ecstasy, and it's a big ass dramatic horrible thing that she's done,
repercussions out the wazoo.
And then with Eli, it's like, we're at a weird vibey paint party and he's crowd surfing, and like,
I'm not gonna lie to you, this made me want to take MDMA and go to a paint party.
that's probably the place to do it.
I was like, that looks super fun.
Yeah.
I bet we'd have a great time, Holland.
I feel like you're just like really you're just really happy. You're just like so happy.
Based on my interactions with people who have been on Molly, I can confirm that is how they are experiencing.
Yeah.
Based on the interactions.
You're just,
it's
like,
not across the board.
having a great fucking time.
We're not suggesting you take MDMA.
No.
I would also like to put the caveat that if someone is giving you pills, you don't always know where those pills are coming from or what is in them.
Right.
Drugs are dangerous. They're not all bad,
legal
but
for a reason.
But they are dangerous because they're not regulated.
Exactly.
If they were regulated, I'd say, but they are not. So,
anyway, that's the end of part 1.
the end of part 1 is
then,
the paint party that I want to take MDMA and attend.
Yeah. And then the next day, Eli's in a much better mood, and he has his NYU interview today, which I thought was going to spell disaster. I thought he was going to I thought he was going to go the, like, Anya Coke in the college interview deal and take MDMA while he was in his interview. But that didn't happen at all. And He did a great job.
Yeah.
But anyway, he has his NYU interview today, and I was like, oh, something's going to go wrong there. But then he's like with Claire, and he's like in a good mood. And then Talia comes in and blows up his spot and is like, here's your shirt. I left you a present in it or something like that. And like,
did she say that?
Away. I don't know.
I thought she just said, here's your shirt back. And Claire was like, excuse you. And then as she's walking away, she's like, are you still coming down?
Yeah, she didn't say that.
Because I was surprised by the MDMA in the shirt.
I was not. But maybe I just, like, read a description or something.
It's much more likely that I wasn't paying attention.
I feel like, I don't know if she said it, like, overtly, like, I left you something, but I feel like she said something, like, here's your shirt back and, like, something else, or, I don't know. I don't remember. But I could be wrong. I don't know. But then...
The fact of the matter is that we are not always the most reliable narrators.
Yeah. And then Claire's like, what the fuck's going on? Did you smoke weed again?
I can't with Claire.
Like, Claire, Eli smokes weed a lot. Do you not know that?
I can't deal with.
Did you take weed?
I can't deal with how scandalized Claire is.
She's so judgy.
That. She's so you can take the Jesus out of the girl.
Yeah.
Or something.
The girl out of the Jesus.
You can take
the girl out of the Catholic schoolgirl uniform.
But you can't take the Jesus out of the girl.
No. But then, and now Eli, and Eli's like, I did MDMA. And she's like, what? You did drugs? And
she's like, well, now I'm worried.
Now I'm even more worried.
I'm like, Claire, you're always fucking worried.
And then we discover that Talia left, like, a baggie of drugs in his shirt. Also, is Molly red? I don't think it's red.
No, I don't think so. It
looks like literal Advil pills in that plastic bag. It might have
just been Advil. Although you want to hear a really embarrassing story about me from when I was a degenerate youth? I was once sold fake ecstasy because I did try to do ecstasy once, and I'm an idiot, and it was already crushed, which should have been an immediate not undo it. But it was sold to me by a good friend, but it was a good friend who was going through some real shit. You guys, she's clean now and also now a drug counselor. It's fine. But she was like going through. People turn shit around, you guys. It gets better. Hashtag it gets better. Anyway, she turned things around since. But she definitely sold me crushed up Advil. And I was like, well, you're my friend. You're not going to take like $40 from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my mom has told me the story that she used to sell oregano to, like, when she was in like 9th grade, she would sell oregano to like 7th graders.
I'm obsessed with your mom
because they thought it was funny.
It is funny. I'm obsessed with your mom. That's hilarious.
Oh my god!
It's like
they're like, we needed money to go to the store.
That's like way more prank than it is drug deal, and I love it.
It's definitely like intentional prank.
It's hilarious.
But anyway, then we're with Maya, who's still going to therapy too. Thank God.
Thank God.
And then she's like, Katie meets her outside the door and she's like, you promised you would go too. And
Which
Katie's like,
she
why?
really should, because she's like kind of melting down since Vegas.
Yeah. And now Katie has to go, thank God. And then we're with Jenna and Connor, who are really cute.
So cute.
Do they kiss in the hallway?
They kiss in like the science lab.
Right. And I feel like Connor says something, it was too much information, but I love them a lot.
Me too. He's like very into it. And she seems to be really into it. And this is when Allie and Becky and somebody else. I can't remember.
They've
literally faded into the background.
Yeah.
Show up and they're like giving them shit.
Her.
They're like giving her shit. And like Connor definitely, this is when Connor does some TMI because they're like, oh, are you guys together? And he's like, well, we've been on dates, so I guess we're technically dating. And Jenna's like, well, it's not official. And he's like, well, we kissed and you told me to kiss you longer.
Yeah, right. Then it's like, oh, too much information.
Too much. But they're like being kind of shitty.
Yeah, they're being teasy and it's not nice.
It's not nice, and Jenna doesn't appreciate it, and it's making her like reconsider all the things, and which I didn't care for.
Yeah. I was like, don't let them doubt it. Don't let them I don't even know what I'm saying. I can't speak.
No, I feel you.
Don't let them get in your head.
Yeah.
I finally said words.
You got it.
But then we're with Fiona, who's helping Eli practice for his interview. And then she's like, and you don't have to do that video yearbook anymore. It's fine. And he's like, wait, no, it's like, I was working on that. Why not? And she's like, Claire says that you don't need to do, like, you shouldn't do it anymore.
Yeah,
like,
I think she said, like, Claire doesn't think you can handle finishing the video right now. Which, like, stop meddling.
And it's just like, fucking stop it. And then he, like, walks up to her in the cafeteria and, like, takes away her chili and makes a whole point of being like, how's your chili? And she's like, a little spicy. And then he, like, takes it away and he's like, oh, I don't think you can handle the spice. And she's like, who are you to dictate, like, what kind of chili I eat? And she's like, doesn't feel good, does it? And then she's like, oh, wait. And then
she's like, but this is different because you don't want to grieve in the way that I want you to grieve.
Exactly. And he's like, stop meddling with my shit. He says she's meddling and he asks her to stop.
Yeah.
And she's like, but I'm meddling because I care. And it's like, that doesn't matter. You're not being there for him.
Yeah. And
you're being there for you.
Exactly. No, it's very self-serving because it's how she thinks it should go.
Yeah.
Because she's a bad writer. Honestly, I think this just stems back to the fact that she's a bad writer. She can't form a narrative. Anyway, and then he's like, and you're doing this to me like right before my interview.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, maybe you should reschedule. Maybe it's the wrong time. And he's like, oh yeah, my interview in 15 minutes. I should reschedule.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Claire.
Fuck off, Claire. God. Oh, she's so bad on this episode.
I have another logistics question.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up not far from where I ended up going to college. If you have an interview, they don't often come to you, right? You have to go there?
No, it's usually like representatives from around the area. You'll interview with someone.
Oh, that's cool. Because
I
the only experience I have is obviously my own. And then also my brother for vet school had to like, for his interviews, he literally had to like fly to Colorado.
I think that's different because that's like post-grad stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like for really competitive programs.
Yeah.
But I feel like usually you can set up an interview like with like representatives in your area, like alumni networks and stuff.
That makes sense.
But like you can go to the school too. Like I interviewed at a couple places on the East Coast because I was already going on like a college tour with my mom, and she set them up there. But I know you can set them up in your area as well.
Good to know. All right.
But anyway.
But yeah, so he's going into this interview with a real positive attitude.
Yeah. And then we're with Becky and Jenna. And Becky does apologize about teasing and for, like, bringing up... I think she said, like, when she was teasing, like, oh, you're going to have his babies? And Jenna did not like that.
Nope.
And she's like, I'm sorry for bringing that up. I recognize that's a sensitive subject for you, and I'm really sorry that I, like, teased you, especially in that way, which I appreciated from Becky.
Some growth from Becky Baker.
But then Becky does bring up an interesting point where she's like, well, if you're embarrassed, like, by that, like... Are you sure that you really want to date him? Like, you should think about that before you, like, get into it. And I'm like, that is a good point. That's a fair point, Becky. But then she's like, but also, I think you should really be dating my brother, Luke. I'm sorry I told you not to. And I was like, what the fuck? Where's this coming from, Becky?
Yeah, I did not care for that at all.
I was like, what? Why are you all of a sudden pushing Luke on Jenna?
But also, confused. I feel like the whole shame thing is, like... I feel like if you're a little bit older, I don't know. Like, I feel like the shame thing is weird. If you're older, it makes more sense. But I feel like you, especially at, like, an age where peer pressure and wanting to be cool, especially someone like Jenna, is, like, so high and, like, status is so important that it's, like, I feel like you're much more likely to get pushed out of actually caring for a person by, like, being picked on and shamed. As opposed to, like, being an adult and being, like, embarrassed to be around a person mostly because you don't like them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, I think that's definitely true. But it is something, I think it is something to think about, though. To, like, make sure, like, are you actually embarrassed by this? Or, like, are you embarrassed because you don't know if you like him and you're uncomfortable with this level of teasing attention? Or are you embarrassed because your friends are just being shitty and making you feel like you should be embarrassed? But
very important distinction.
Yeah.
And something to consider. But then, yeah, she does push Boy Baker,
but then she's
which
like,
is bullshit.
Luke, date my brother. I'm like, what the fuck? Why? No. But then we're at a PTA meeting. Oh, yeah, we totally skipped over Katie's counselor session.
Yeah. And basically, like, wraps up with the counselor being like, well, if you were in Jake's situation, what would make you feel better?
Right. And then jumping forward to the PTA meeting, Katie's trying to get Jake's garden reopened, and that's her way of trying to, like, apologize for what she did. But Audra disagrees, and she's like, no, I think it's way too soon. Which, like, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I honestly
I
don't
understand
have
both sides.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't really have a firm stance either way.
Yeah.
And the beginning and bits of Katie's speech I didn't care for. Like the whole, like, he's gone, but we're still here. I was like, let's not.
I didn't mind what happened was a tragedy, but that doesn't make the garden tragic. I'm like, yeah that makes sense.
And I liked the idea of repainting a, like, new mural to sort of give it a fresh start.
But I hated all of the points where it was like, we can't let one person's decision, like, hinder us from enjoying a garden or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't say it like that.
That's a push. And also, it's a garden. Come on.
She also said, like, let's let the garden be a symbol of perseverance and hope, which I was like,
that
sure,
I liked.
Yes. And I think Jake is there, too, and is like, oh, cool. But then...
Oh, yeah, and he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I just wanted to help.
Yeah. But then we are with Eli in his interview, and he's opening up about being bipolar, and he says, like, it, like, contributes to how he makes art.
And he's, like, giving some real good answers.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you can't finish things? Because he was saying that he, like, is in the middle of, like, 2 projects. One is on hold.
And he's like, there have been extenuating circumstances.
Which I feel like he should have said what they were.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think the way he answered it was fine.
Yeah.
And then it ends with, like, all right, well, we'll be in touch. We'll let you know. And he's like, oh, that's it? But it ended on kind of, like, a bittersweet note. And she's like, that's what we say to everybody. But then she's like, wait, you did Romeo and Jules? And she's like, that was one of the best student productions I've ever seen, or something like that. And it, like, so his interview ends on a really high note. It seems very promising, and I'm very happy for Eli.
Me too.
He deserves this. And then he, like, leaves his interview, and he's, like, high-fiving people, and he's like, yeah, I did it. And Claire's still mad about the drugs. And
Claire's an idiot.
And they're like, can we talk now? Like, we should talk about this. And I'm like, finally, fucking talk about this. But
and then Claire goes immediately into you're doing drugs because you're dealing with this thing. And then he's like, I don't want to talk to you about it.
And then she's zoning out and he's flashing